Welcome to another video blog. I have my good friend and brother Bryan Casella right here, and I wanted to talk about something that we did recently. Pretty recently, we had a very transcendental experience. Shit, I don't know if even that's a fucking word, but we did a ceremony that I learned from a shaman. He's from the Amazonas. His name is Tsuntsuk Yawa. Shout out to you, brother. And basically, those that have been following me, you know that I'm on the Red Path. That's how you call it, which is the path of the ancient Anahuac, or the continent of America. From different and various tribes, you learn medicine plants. You learn about basically becoming a Nahual or a shaman, whatever you wish to call it, a spiritual warrior, spiritual person. So I learned certain techniques and ceremonies, and I wanted to share that with my brother. This is something that you don't do with just anybody, because I want to get his input, and he'll let you know how intense, how subtle, and what it's all about. But this is something ancestral. This is not to be taken lightly. This is not just to have fun or to even be pleasant and have pleasure. This is not about that. And we are here in the forest because almost every day we come here to connect with the primordial thing, which is our Mother Earth. We forget sometimes that where we come from and eventually where we're gonna go. This body, as much as we like it, as much as I look fucking phenomenal, I'm gonna become a part of I'm gonna become a tree. It's gonna eat me away. And some people think that we're here to save Mother Earth. But if you think of it like this, if we die, if we cease to exist as humans, Mother Earth will still continue to thrive. So she doesn't need us. So we're here to serve, not to save. With that, I want to pass it to you, brother.
Whoa. Man. In a nutshell, intense, focused, silent, calming, all wrapped into one. I believe as human beings now, we never take time to be with ourselves. And that was one of the most intense feelings of being with me. And he talked a lot about the ancestors and the traditions and things that were passed down from before. And it's almost like when you do it that there's a lot of history with it, even though you can't say directly, oh yeah, I know for sure because I read it in a book, right? Definitely unique, if I said that earlier, something I've never experienced. I've done a lot in my life, and it was definitely something that I can't say, oh, it's like this or that, right? It's unique in the sense that even though a lot of things I've taught and talked about, on social media or with friends, I have a comparison for, this is something I don't really have a comparison for. And, it is something very private, very intimate, and it's one of those things that you'll never speak about, which is really cool. But definitely different, definitely opening, definitely, man, sometimes it's tough to put into words too. It felt like the right thing.
I have a couple of questions
sure.
that I want to ask you. You live here in Cali, and everyone talks about being woke. Everyone talks about spirituality, and I think that's another badge that you can put on just to accentuate your ego, right? That's what I say with people. Yeah. Oh, I read the tarot, I read the palms, and a bruja told me to la la la. I'm like, come on. There's so much bullshit involved behind spirituality. And of course, also another thing that people forget, we did this, and I wanted to do this with you because you earned it. It comes to you when you're ready. This is not something that you pick simply because you have the money or you have something. No, this is intense, right? And you were ready for it. So the question is, now that you have experienced just a little bit of what's on the other side, what do you feel and what do you think about all these bullshitters? And the second question is, what would you say with people that are interested in this but they have not earned it? Because this is something that you need to earn. You had composure and you were calm, and the knowledge that you had, you put it into practice right there under pressure, because it was not pleasant. I know it was not pleasant, but that's why you were ready, because you knew about it. So
well, a lot can be said, man. First, for all the posers, we instinctively know. But after doing something like that, now it's confirmed, they're full of shit, right? Especially with how they describe it and what they talk about. You can tell it's 100% marketing, 100% for the wrong intention. Versus this in actuality has nothing to do with all that material shit and I'm cool, I have followers, right? It's completely different. It's something that is private, I believe. Yeah, shared amongst a few people, select people, like you said, but private, right? Because it's your own journey, it's your own thing. So to the people who are interested in doing it, right? There's a lot you can do, if we're going to label it the mundane world, that can help you prepare for it. However, it has to be earned. So basic human disciplines like self-discipline, being able to follow a routine, right? Putting yourself in quotes, stressful situations so that you now can be calm under pressure, which is funny. I just made a video about that today with Jose. I didn't even tell you. So that's the stuff that prepares you for that other side, if we're going to call it that, right? Not that you'll be fully ready, because what I went through, the other day, I was just like, whoa, right? Like even I wasn't expecting that. You come in thinking it's going to be something, which is just bullshit programming instead of just accepting it, right? Or being open to it.
Exactly.
You have your own, right? So there are things, especially a lot of the even basic stuff that we've been talking about for years, that can prepare you for that. And then it dawned on me when we did it, and we even had a conversation about it, like, well, certain people, a lot of people aren't going to be able to go through this, because I wouldn't even be able to put into words or imagine how they would respond when those sensations comes and those experiences come, because we've talked about it too, when you give that power to somebody who isn't ready for it, it could just become chaos.
True that, yeah. And just to wrap it up, also another thing that I wanted to mention is the ability of transforming yourself or opening yourself up to transformation. Bro, you and I have been friends for a long time now, and I know that you have been seeing transformation in me. I know I've been seeing transformation in you. So I think a lot of people are not very, how could you put it, interested into trying these things or opening, not even trying, just open themselves up to learning about something new psychologically, right? Like communication patterns, hypnosis and all that, because they're like, oh, I don't want to manipulate people with speech patterns. I'm like, bro, relax. The other thing also, physically, how many people they want to transform themselves physically, be more healthy, but they just, then of course there's this interest. There's a natural tendency to go towards spirituality and mysticism. And the problem that I see is because it's part of our DNA. We are spiritual beings. The fact that I have been learning this for a long time does not make me any better than you that doesn't know anything about it. And it doesn't make you lesser than it. Okay, you have the same ability that all the shamans in the world. It's just a matter of practice. You master whatever you practice. So we have a natural tendency to lean towards the mysticism and the occult, and that's why people fall prey to bullshitters. They're like, okay, you don't know nothing about it, I'll come here, follow me, and I'll teach you. And then of course emotionally as well, that's why we go to so many therapists and all that bullshit, right? So all of these things, there's a lot of people that are kind of on the fence of trying it, even though it's part of us. We are curious. Part of our genetics is to be curious, to be learning, to be growing and expanding in all different areas of life. So I wanted to get your input on that. And just to wrap it up, another thing that I wanted to say, what? I'll say it at the end.
Cool. Well, especially bringing up again the people who have the word I think that best categorize it is everything has been monetized, but they take something. If we're gonna, because we talked about higher self, lower self, right? They're taking something from the higher self and then bringing it to the lower self by monetizing it and making it about the ego and I look cool, right? So you poison it or pervert it in that sense, And man, a lot of the questions, this is the best way I can describe this, a lot of the questions that people come to us with, because I know a lot of the same questions I get, you get, it's just maybe in a different form, but the root of it is the same question, right? I've been saying something for a while now, and I know you agree with this, is when you, and this is kind of how we say, when you get to this level, that question or concern becomes irrelevant. That's what this is. So as tough as that is to sell to people or say, this is why you need to do it, it's all that stuff that you believe to be a huge issue or a big thing. This is the key, as you transform and you open yourself to this types of things, you will realize and grow and change to the point where that stuff, all the stuff that you're probably thinking about right now watching this video, becomes irrelevant. And you level up We talk about self-development. This is a part of real self-development, not this is the 1, 2, 3 step system to become a millionaire and all that stuff. Does that have its time and place? Absolutely. But this is about the development of character, of self, knowing where you come from, knowing your background, like he said, knowing your ancestors, and understanding and taking all that information and knowledge and power and energy and frequency from the past, bringing it today, building upon it, and moving forward. Because anybody who has continued these rituals, anybody who has recorded this information, whether you study the Egyptians, the Mexicas, all that stuff, it's there for a reason. And obviously the whole goal is to take it, not only continue it, but to improve upon it and become better and advance. Exactly. Right? However, you have to know where you came from first, and you have to start with that stuff before you can get into aliens and all that other stuff that people want to talk about. So when we talk about real, true self-development and transformation, this is it. And it may not be the only thing, but it's definitely a necessary ingredient. So as much as people might be afraid or they look at it differently, I believe the monetization of it has perverted it. Yeah. And there is a lot of bullshit. It's just about finding the real people, getting around them, understanding it. And I believe the openness, a way that you guys can parallel this in the regular world would be vulnerability and saying, teacher, I don't know the answer. How many of you watching this video were afraid in class to raise your hand and say, I don't know, right? Because you're embarrassed. But what does it have to do? Ego. I don't want to be embarrassed. So you have to learn to push that to the side. So all the other stuff we talked about earlier gets you prepared for this, because you have to be open, right? There's going to be things that you share in those moments and experiences that will never be shared or discussed outside of those moments. However, you have to earn that moment. And I think that's the best way I can say it. And that's it for me.
Damn, bro. So officially you're woke AF.
Third eye has been activated. I'm grounded. I'm alkaline.
F. Decalcified F.
Akashic records ready to be accessed.
Damn. So yeah, the last thing that I want to wrap it up is I see this because it's very mystic, right? And it has a lot of things that is on the dark side, and people always tend to run away from the darkness. We have been indoctrinated to think that dark is bad, equal to bad or negative, and it's not like that. So because it cannot be seen, it's not like fucking angel will pop up. It's progressively, organically. Maybe you will, maybe it will, maybe you won't, but it's not like that. So people always fantasize with that because of the indoctrination of movies, of the media, and all of these things, right? So this is the dark part. This is working with your shadow. And it's not fun, it's not easy, and it's not magical and fireworks and nothing like that. And this is exactly why I see a lot of people that, they think that something like that needs to happen. And you mentioned something that I want to mention again. Yeah. Inside of you, your gut, your instinct is already telling you who's real, who's not real, who's full of shit. But you want to hear certain things. So you go to the bruja, you go to the tarot, you go to the shaman, you do ayahuasca ceremonies even. I've met a lot of people that have done all of these medicines and they have not changed a single fucking thing. And to me, they're not shamans, they're just fucking drug addicts. This is just what it is, right?
I think they've gone backwards.
Exactly. They get all fucked up. Yeah. And so the point that I'm trying to make here, to keep it short and sweet, which is already a long video, but this is necessary. This is a necessary. These things needs to be out there in the open, right? What can be said and what can be shared. Is you've been putting the responsibility onto others, whether it's spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally. You always want others to do the job for you. So the fact that I have been learning this, or any other shaman, or any other Nahual, or any other person, right? They're not going to do it for you. They are never going to do it for you. The only thing is that we become tools. That's just it. We become fucking tools, and we open the doors. We just showed you the door, and we're like, okay, man, you're going to have to do it. Think about a gym instructor. Do you think that, okay, he's there, he's a trainer, he'll show you some techniques, he'll be there to guide you and tell you, okay, you're not lifting it correctly, just so you don't get hurt. But do you think that he is going to do the exercise for you and then you'll get the benefits? Hell no. So it's the same thing with mysticism and with people that are like me. It's not that I'm better, which is something that I see a lot. It's simply because you know about spirituality, all of a sudden you think you are better and you know more and you're above everyone else and the money. And fuck that, man. Yeah. This is just an interest. This is just a lifestyle. Shit. That's it. All right. This is who I am, and that's it. Has nothing to do with being better, worse, or anything like that. So the point, to wrap it up, this is the final point, is if you get involved into these things, first of all, respect it. Second of all, earn it. Be responsible. Okay, have discipline. And third of all the last one is, you have to do the work. All right? You do the medicine with me, you do a session with me, don't expect fucking fireworks. And the same with, I don't know, your program or anything else, right? So that's it for me. You want to wrap it up? Want to do something? Say something?
Get it together, babe. So, as an example, let's say you get an invitation and they say, well, for 30 days, you have to meditate 20 minutes a day, and the final 2 days you have to do a fast. And how many people wouldn't be able to do that, or wouldn't actually go through with it? I guarantee you, if we got 100 people and told them that, and we'd give them the answers to the cosmos and everything, maybe 1 out of 100 would actually do it. But a lot of them would show up and say, yeah, I did it. And they'd be full of shit, and we would know it. So that's an example of the preparation and earning before the moment. Yeah. So if I'm going to commit to something, I'm going to do it. And that's really what it's about, is it starts with stuff like that. Let's say you do, next week get that invitation, but there's some sort of preparation involved. Are you going to follow it? Now, watching this video right away, as I say it instantly, well, yeah or no. And if it's a no, maybe this isn't a priority to you, then I would say, then don't get involved. Because it has to be important enough for you to say, you know what? Not only am I interested, I'm committed to do at least the first couple steps to get started. And that's where I think it messes up, is someone will bring it up at a party, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm into it too. Or, oh yeah, I've heard about that. Oh yeah, the Akashic Records. Oh, the Mexicas. Yeah, I know all about that. Come on, bro. You don't know shit. Just like I don't know shit, and he doesn't know shit overall, right? Yeah. But we're open enough to say, okay, but I want to learn, right? And that's the process that we're in. So we have to, just like anything else in life, we have to treat it like, okay, this is serious to me. And we happen to be examples of whatever we want to do. We take it seriously as hell, but it's just an example to you that, hey, when Bryan and Pablo say they're going to do something, they do it, and we see it. Yeah. You can do the same. It's just a matter of how important is it going to be to you. And when you say you're going to do it, follow through, and that's it. And then it's a journey like anything else. That's it for me.
Damn. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Be the best version of yourself. Ometeotl.